Hey guys, welcome to another episode of JPro. We're going to talk about my experience from flying to Washington and also back from Washington to Hawaii during the coronavirus. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe. So with that all said and done, let's jump right in. So just a little background for you guys so you guys know why we went to Washington during this time. Me and my girlfriend both bought some tickets to go see her parents back in March, but all this coronavirus stuff obviously started happening in Hawaii, and it blew up in Hawaii really fast around middle of March, so we decided not to go. The airlines pretty much gave us a one-time deal from now until a year out of our original date to change our flights. So we decided, well, let's try and see if the end of May might work out. So we changed it to May 27th. We flew from Hawaii on May 27th to SeaTac, and then we flew from SeaTac back to Honolulu on June 3rd. And so from June 3rd until June 17th, we have to quarantine in the house together. Well, we can go outside, we just can't go off of our property pretty much that we're staying at. We can't have anybody inside the house. We can't interact with anybody that's, I think, not closer than 10 feet. I'll go through it all later in the video about all the parameters that they set for us. But over the trip, we went to the Olympic Peninsula where I grew up, over in Poulsbo, Bremerton area, and then we played with her dog. We went on the family's boat, had a good time with them. Went around Seattle a little bit just to get Dick's burgers because those are the best burgers ever. Flying to Washington actually wasn't that big of a deal. Pretty much when we got into the airport, they said we have to have masks unless we're actively eating or drinking, and then we had to wear masks the entire time on the flight. Getting onto the flight wasn't a big deal. Like I said, it was pretty much the exact same thing as going onto an airplane. Even without the coronavirus, it was just we had to wear masks and that was it. For the most part, there weren't a lot of people on the flight, which isn't surprising at all. A lot of people canceled their plane tickets during this time. The whole entire middle section of each 3-section of seats was blocked off so that they could maintain social distancing. So me and my girlfriend technically were supposed to be sitting in, I want to say like row 24, A and C. Obviously it was fine because we were together. And then going there, they didn't have any snacks. I want to say they only give us a bag of peanuts and then a bottle of water because that's all they could give us. I want to say the flight that we took there was United, and then coming back we flew Hawaiian. Once we got into SeaTac, it was a little bit busier than Honolulu, but not by much. And just like I said, same thing, we had to wear masks the entire time until we get out of the airport. So there wasn't really a difference from being in the Honolulu airport to being in the SeaTac airport. Flying home, things got kind of different. Getting on the plane in SeaTac wasn't a big deal. Just like I said, it was the exact same thing. Hawaiian was actually generous. They actually gave us a little sandwich, a little heated up like cheese and tomato sandwich. Even though they weren't allowed to give us dinner, they gave us another little snack. And then Hawaiian actually gave us full cans of soda, unlike United. United wasn't serving anything besides water. They gave us all the same stuff you usually get on an airplane, just they couldn't pour it in cups. And then same thing with flying back. So it was 2 seats, 4 seats, and then 2 seats. The middle 2 rows of the 4-seat row, I guess, was all blocked off so that they could maintain social distancing. On the other 2 rows, none of those seats were blocked off. So getting off the plane, we pretty much followed the people in front of us all the way to these tables. Before we got to the tables, there were these National Guard soldiers that were taking our temperatures. If they saw someone with a high temperature, they were going to take them to a quarantine area, get them tested for coronavirus. And then everybody else was obviously sent off to the next tables to do the rest of the process to get the quarantine process taken care of. So there were 2 stations. The very first station, we gave them this paper that we had to fill out on the plane. And every time you enter Hawaii, you have to fill out an agriculture form just to make sure that you don't take any plants, animals, anything like that that could be harmful to our environment or our ecosystem. And that's usual anytime you travel to Hawaii, even if you're a returning resident or if you're a tourist, you have to fill that out, even not during the coronavirus too. But they gave us another form that pretty much asked us our name, our phone number, our home address, and then our quarantine address as well. The whole idea behind this was that if they had to arrest someone for breaking the quarantine law, they could go to your address, and then our phone number, they actually called our phone number before we left the quarantine table to make sure that 1, it worked, and 2, that it was our cell phone. We actually got a call yesterday asking us if we had any symptoms, if there were any reasons we had to break quarantine, medical reasons, or any other needs that we had that we would need to break quarantine for. So after all that was said and done, we went to the next table. And at the next table, I tried filming it, but the lady there asked me not to because she was like, oh, it's on me if something goes wrong and you try to take me to court or whatever. Totally understandable. But that's where we actually signed the document, which said that we understand the quarantine procedures. And then it pretty much listed all the limitations that we had while we were in quarantine, what we could and couldn't do. They obviously tell you, hey, it's up to a $5,000 fine, and there's jail time if you break the quarantine before the 14 days are up. So far, quarantine hasn't been that bad. We've been pretty active. We've been running around the porch because it's on our property. We're allowed to. So we've been running around that. We did like a mile a day for the past 3 or 4 days. We've actually been eating really healthy, and I've been really busy with schoolwork, uploading videos, and we've been watching Queer Eye, and we just got done with Avatar: The Last Airbender too. So it was a nice time to catch up on those. So far, we feel really good about quarantine. We're not going crazy like a lot of other people have because we lived here for the past, well, I've lived here for the past year. My girlfriend's lived for the past 7 or 8 months. So it's not like we are itching to go out to the beach and trying to break quarantine. We're content with just being here right now and just being back at home. We'll see how the next week goes though. It's still a whole other week to get through, so we'll see how that goes. I really hope this video was informational for you guys to see the whole process going to Hawaii, and I guess the reason why we're going through all these procedures to keep our islands safe from coronavirus, because there's only so much that any of the islands can do. Obviously, Oahu being the most populated island, it can do a lot more medically for people if an outbreak does occur. And so far, I think we've had less than 700 cases. We have less than 70 active cases right now. The most new cases in a day the past month or so has been 9. For the most part, it's either been 3 new cases a day or 0 new cases a day. And that's why they're trying so hard at this quarantine procedure to minimize our risk for coronavirus. But I hope you guys liked the video. I hope it was informational during this weird time to see what the procedure was like flying into Hawaii. And if you guys did enjoy it, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. Thanks for watching, guys, and until next time.